Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi. Nama saya Muhammad Nazrul Engineer dan nombor matrik 196591. Hari ini saya akan menerangkan tentang three main components of biodiversity which very important in any ecosystem restoration, genetic, species and ecosystem diversity. Please elaborate each component of accordingly. This is type of a little bit information about type of diversity. First, we have genetic diversity, diversity of genes within a species, and then species diversity, diversity among species in an ecosystem, and then lastly, ecosystem diversity, which is diversity of a habitat in a given unique area. So next. Okay, first, genetic diversity. Genetic diversity refers to total genetic information contained in the genes of individual or plant, animal, and microorganism. Genetic diversity is comparative, less obvious level of diversity as it represents variation within species. Genetic diversity refer to the variety of genes within a species. Each species is made up of individuals that have their own particular genetic composition. Within a species, there may also discrete population with distinctive gene. To conserve the genetic diversity within a species, different population must be conserved. This protect the genetic diversity that allow for adaptability to environment changes and is therefore vital to species survival. So this is the importance of genetic diversity. The large variation of the different genes sets allow an individual or the whole population to have the capacity to endure environmental stress in any form. For instance, where some individuals have a better capacity to endure the increasing pollution in the environment, some do not have it. This may result in infertility or even death from the same condition. Thus, we see how the one who are able to endure and adapt to this change are much better than the one who failed to do so and had to either live or die. This process can be referred to as natural selection. This procedure leads to a loss of genetic diversity in particular habitat. Thus, we see the genetic diversity can, in a way, tackle natural selection for a better environment. Next is species diversity. Species diversity is defined as the number of different species present in an ecosystem and relative abundance of each of those species. Diversity is greatest when all the species represent equally abundant in the area. There are two components of species diversity, which is species richness and species evenness. Species richness is the number of different species present in an ecosystem. Tropical area have greater species richness as the environment is conducive for a large number of species. Species evenness is relative abundance of individual of each of those species. In if the number of individual within a species is fairly constant across communities, it is said to have a high evenness, and if the number of individual varies from species to species, it is said to have low evenness. High evenness leads to greater specific diversity. It is possible in an ecosystem to have high species richness but low species evenness. For example, in a forest, they may have large number of different species, which is high species richness, but have only a few number of species each species, low species evenness. In a forest, there may be only a few plant species, which is low species richness, but a large number of species, which is high species evenness. So the importance of the species diversity is in a healthy ecosystem, diverse and balanced number of species exist to maintain the balance of an ecosystem. In an ecosystem, all the species depend on each other directly or indirectly. So to make a more efficient, productive and sustainable ecosystem, it is important to maintain high species diversity. Healthy biodiversity has innumerable benefits like nutrient storage and recycling, soil formation and protection from erosion, absorption of harmful gases, and climate stability. Diverse in large number have in large scale interaction among organisms such as in the food web. For the last component of biodiversity is ecosystem biodiversity. Ecosystem diversity deals with the variation in ecosystem within a geographical location and its overall impact on human existence and the environment. It is the variation in the ecosystem found in a region or the variation in ecosystem over the whole planet. Ecological diversity or ecosystem diversity includes the variation in both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. Ecological diversity can also take into account the variation in the complexity of a biological community, including the number of different niche, the number of trophic level, and other ecological process. So this is the importance of ecosystem diversity or by ecological diversity. It's keep the planet healthy. All life form depend on each other and all ecosystem need to thrive. Okay, that's all. Thank you.